Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I hope you are well. So I was thinking a little bit today. It was actually a lovely spring day here. Still a little chilly, but just beautiful. And the sun was out, and trees are budding and flowers are blooming. And so I was out of the park for a walk and just kind of soaking it all up, and just grateful to be outside in the fresh air. And I am a huge lover of spring. It is by far my favorite season of the year, and I just love to watch everything come to life. And I actually love to plant too. One of my favorite things in the spring is just to get out and dig in the dirt and plant some flowers, plant some bushes, things that I can really enjoy immediately, but long term also. And so it just kind of got me thinking a little bit about the seeds that we plant and what we are growing in our lives. Hi, Joe Ingram. I just have to say, Joe, I'm sure that this head wrap looks fabulous on you. So thanks for letting me know. And so, it was just kind of fun to sort of piece together a few of my thoughts when I was getting ready tonight, because I had an interesting conversation too with someone around some of this today, and it's someone that I've known for quite a while. And as I was talking with them, I was thinking about the seeds that each of us had planted in our lives over the last 10 years. And, just kind of seeing how things had, played out and what the results of some of the seeds that we had planted were. And, I think that hindsight, of course, is always 20/20, but we often plant seeds that we don't really intend to plant. And then we also plant seeds that have growth that we don't intend. And, if we're not careful about what seeds we're planting, we're going to get stuff growing up in our garden that we don't really want. And so I had shared a little bit from this book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, with you guys yesterday. But I just thought it was timely because I picked it up again today, and I thought, I'm going to kind of jump back closer to the beginning of this book to share some of this with you guys so that we can kind of do it in the proper order, because the foundation is really kind of laid at the beginning. And then, as we go along, it gets a little bit more in depth. And so I want to read this passage to you because I felt like it was really powerful. And it was a great reminder for me, especially kind of reflecting on some of the things that, I was explaining earlier, just, where the seeds that I had planted have, kind of taken me, and the things that have grown up in my life in that time frame. And, just having had that conversation with this person, it really helped me to have an even deeper perspective, I guess, on what it is that I have seen change in my life, and what some of the seeds were that I planted to make those changes and to see the things that I really wanted start showing up. So I want to read this, but before I read it, I want to preface it just a little. He's really kind of talking about our conscious and subconscious mind here. And so just kind of keep that in mind as I go along, because obviously, since the book is about the power of your subconscious mind, that's an important element. But there's that piece that we need to be conscious of what we're doing as well. So he writes, an excellent way to get acquainted with the two functions of your mind is to look upon your own mind as a garden. You are a gardener, and you are planting seeds, thoughts, in your subconscious mind all day long, based on your habitual thinking. As you sow in your subconscious mind, so you shall reap in your body and environment. Begin now to sow thoughts of peace, happiness, right action, goodwill, and prosperity. Think quietly and with interest on these qualities and accept them fully in your conscious reasoning mind. Continue to plant these wonderful seeds, thoughts, in the garden of your mind, and you will reap a glorious harvest. Your subconscious mind may be likened to the soil, which will grow all kinds of seeds, good or bad. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Every thought is therefore a cause, and every condition is an effect. For this reason, it is essential that you take charge of your thoughts so as to bring forth only desirable conditions. When your mind thinks correctly, when you understand the truth, when the thoughts deposited in your subconscious mind are constructive, harmonious, and peaceful, the magic working power of your subconscious will respond and bring about harmonious conditions, agreeable surroundings, and the best of everything. When you begin to control your thought processes, you can apply the powers of your subconscious to any problem or difficulty. In other words, you will actually be consciously cooperating with the infinite power and omnipotent law which governs all things. Look around you and wherever you live, and you will notice that the vast majority of mankind lives in the world without. The more enlightened men are intensely interested in the world within. Remember, it is the world within, namely your thoughts, feelings, and imagery, that make your world without. It is, therefore, the only creative power, and everything which you find in your world of expression has been created by you in the inner world of your mind, consciously or unconsciously. A knowledge of the interaction of your conscious and subconscious minds will enable you to transform your whole life. In order to change external conditions, you must change the cause. Most men try to change conditions and circumstances by working with conditions and circumstances. To remove discord, confusion, lack, and limitation, you must remove the cause, and the cause is the way you are using your conscious mind. In other words, the way you are thinking and picturing in your mind. You are living in a fathomless sea of infinite riches. Your subconscious is very sensitive to your thoughts. Your thoughts form the mold or matrix through which the infinite intelligence, wisdom, vital forces, and energies of your subconscious flow. The practical application of the laws of your mind, as illustrated in each chapter of this book, will cause you to experience abundance for poverty, wisdom for superstition and ignorance, peace for pain, joy for sadness, light for darkness, harmony for discord, faith and confidence for fear, success for failure, and freedom from the law of averages. Certainly, there can be no more wonderful blessing than these from a mental, emotional, and material standpoint. Most of the great scientists, artists, poets, singers, writers, and inventors have a deep understanding of the workings of the conscious and subconscious minds. One time, Caruso, the great operatic tenor, was struck with stage fright. He said his throat was paralyzed due to spasms caused by intense fear, which constricted the muscles of his throat. Perspiration poured copiously down his face. He was ashamed because in a few minutes he had to go out on the stage, yet he was shaking with fear and trepidation. He said, "They will laugh at me. I can't sing." Then he shouted in the presence of those behind the stage, "The little me wants to strangle the big me within." He said to the little me, "Get out of here. The big me wants to sing through me." By the big me, he meant the limitless power and wisdom of his subconscious mind, and he began to shout, "Get out, get out, the big me is going to sing." His subconscious mind responded, releasing the vital forces within him. When the call came, he walked out on the stage and sang, gloriously and majestically, enthralling the audience. It is obvious to you now that Caruso must have understood the two levels of the mind, the conscious or rational, and the subconscious or irrational level. Your subconscious mind is reactive and responds to the nature of your thoughts. When your conscious mind, the little me, is full of fear, worry, and anxiety, the negative emotions engendered in your subconscious mind, the big me, are released and flood the conscious mind with a sense of panic, foreboding, and despair. When this happens, you can, like Caruso, speak affirmatively and within a deep sense of authority to the irrational emotions generated in your deeper mind as follows. Be still. Be quiet. I am in control. You must obey me. You are subject to my command. You cannot intrude where you do not belong. It is fascinating and intensely interesting to observe how you can speak authoritatively and with conviction to the irrational movement of your deeper self, bringing silence, harmony, and peace to your mind. The subconscious is subject to the conscious mind, and that is why it is called subconscious or subjective. So I just thought this was really powerful, and I wanted to share it because I don't think that this is something that most of us are taught or have an awareness of until someone presents it to us. I know that was certainly the case for me. And so that's why when I first got this book, I really just dove into it. It just was so powerful to me. And, you know, if you've been on a journey of self-development for a while, some of these things will sound familiar. But if you haven't, then it's kind of like all of a sudden when you hear these things, you start to have a deeper understanding and you start to have, you know, a realization around your own potential. And so for me, myself, as I dug deeper into, you know, what are the things that I am trying to fix on the outer level that really might just be a reflection of what's happening on an inner level, that's when I was really able to make some big shifts and changes in my life and start planting the seeds that I really wanted to plant. And I think that right now is a time when we're all really conscious of, you know, what's going on around us, the events that are going on around us, you know, the way that the world is changing and how these new things that are coming about are going to affect our lifestyle and, you know, what we consider to be normal and what life has looked like in the past. But I think what's really important is that we remember that whatever is happening externally, we have control over our reaction to internally. And so when we approach things and we look at them from that perspective, then we empower ourselves again. And so we're not a victim to the circumstances or the situations, you know, that are going on outside around us, because we can respond to them from a deeper place of knowing who we are and what our own power is within those circumstances. So I just wanted to share this out. I didn't intend for this to be like a long live, but this passage was just really, I felt timely, but also important. And I hope that it's going to be one that speaks to you and that you find useful as well. And even if it's just kind of food for thought, something that you have in the back of your mind, you know, that might pop up for you. And I'm kind of a visual person. So if I'm out walking around and I'm seeing people planting flowers, or, you know, I'm seeing the trees budding, that can be a reminder for me. Oh, yeah, that reminds me of that passage that I heard someone read the other day. And it can get me thinking about some of these types of things. And so I'm just hoping that maybe, you know, it'll spark a little something for you and that you'll take something away that will be useful for you. So again, such a joy as always to be here with you. Thank you for coming on. If you were here, I can't always see who's here, but I appreciate you being here and sharing out. It's always great to know, you know, that the message that I do share is getting out to people. So lots of love and light going out to all of you tonight, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Talk to you soon.